congratulations. Would you please start us off with an open comment?
Yeah, excited for the bounce back win, and I thought our kids came out and really had the effort that we wanted to see to get a big win against really well coached and tough basketball team to play against. So excited to bounce back after a tough one up at Central, and let's face it, a tough trip back, and we didn't do a whole lot on Thursday. Had a really good workout on Friday, and this is a tough team to have a quick turnaround on, but it's what we do in the MAC, and again, just a good win against a team we have a ton of respect for, and hopefully we'll use this to get us going on a little bit of a streak here and see what we can put together.
Coach, so you mentioned the bounce back here, and with the way the West as a whole is playing against the East, how important is it to win these games against teams like Akron and not fall behind the other guys?
Yeah, I mean, the West is a grind. I mean, it's ridiculous how good it is right now, the quality of basketball. But it's not just the West. I mean, you've got to win like every game you can. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So, West, East, North, South, it doesn't matter. Like, you got to win the next one up, and unless somebody can just go unbeaten, we're all right, but really, I think all we're concerned with is how are we playing? Are we doing the things that we're talking about in a game plan? Are we doing the things that we're talking about on offense? Are we following a plan and executing the way we want to? And then, we'll let all that stuff kind of worry about itself a little bit. But I think Akron had our team's full attention. I think the fact that we were coming off a loss had our full attention. And the kids prepared well. And, we came out and, it may sound weird to think we did a pretty good job on defense and they shot 43%. But that's how much respect I have for Akron's basketball team and their coach, is that I do think we did a pretty good job, and they scored 70. And I feel pretty good about what we did on the defensive end. It's the West is just going to be one of those that, if you take a second to look at standings and worry about all that stuff, you're going to get buried. You better be trying to figure out how to win games.
So what was going on in the first quarter where you actually shot better than Akron, but they still had a possession or two left?
Yeah, we turned the ball. Yeah, we turned the ball over, and that always leads to a little bit of a difference in shot attempts. So once we started taking care of the ball, which ended up being a big story in the game, we had 15 turnovers and we turned them over 21 times. But once we started taking care of it and we weren't handing them extra possessions, I thought that made a big difference and really kind of flipped the game just a little bit to where we got some momentum there.
And then you mentioned the turnovers here, and in the second half, only 4 of these turnovers were in the second half there. You built a big lead in the first half, but how important was that in holding on to that lead there?
Well, it was huge because the game got so choppy with all the whistles and everything. So in that where it's just kind of half court to half court to half court to half court, and there's no real runs being made. You can't give extra possessions. You can't do that. And we got a few with some timely turnovers. I think they had 8 turnovers there in the second half, and that ended up in a game like this playing out to be a big difference. So, again, I thought we executed our plan pretty well in the second half and pounded it into Renee, and then they chose to foul and not let her lay it up. And that stopped the game, and marched the free throw line and all that kind of stuff, and you credit them because that was the plan and they stuck to it, and we were tough enough to keep doing what we were doing.
And then 4 of your starters double-digit points there, and then Mo was a point away and Destiny was 2 points away from that too.
Yeah.
So, what do you think it says about your team that you can have games like this where it isn't necessarily one person just scoring on your team?
Well, it was, I tell you, across the board, it was good for us to win this game, you know, when Renee was saddled with some foul trouble. You know, and I don't think the foul trouble was really her fault. I just think it was the way the game played out. I thought she played just fine, but she was in foul trouble, so I couldn't play her a ton. You saw Destiny Washington step up. You saw Jill step up and hit some big threes. You know, you saw Morgan Glatchett come in, and wow, man, she played good. You know, she about hit that three. It looked good, and it's a shot we want her to shoot, and she practices hitting. But the little left-handed half hook that she turned around and made, you know, an O-board, you know, she just really – she was a big part of this win because, you know, that gave me an ability to not have to take a chance with Renee and get her in crazy foul trouble, you know, and have her full go for the second half. And so all that adds up to being able to win, you know. And, yeah, it'd be nice to come out and always your plan work perfectly on both ends of the floor. But the sign of a good team is when you have to go to plan B, maybe C or D, and you can still keep rocking and rolling. And I thought you saw some of that today from us.
And then, you know, Renee, getting into the foul trouble, but only 4 first-half minutes for you there. You came on real strong in the second half. So, you know, how would you describe your own play in this game with that in mind?
It's definitely hard playing or not being able to play for the whole first half of a basketball game, and then trying to come out the second half and like pick up where you left off. But I think it was actually really easy for me to go and sit on the bench and actually have a good time doing it, and, you know, getting loud with a bunch of my teammates because I knew that the next person who was coming into that game, they were going to have my back, and they did. I mean, whether it was Morgan or Destiny or Jill hitting big threes or Franny getting rebounds, I knew that the next person who was coming off that bench was going to take care of business, and that's just what happened. So, yeah, it sucks to have sat the whole first half, but I actually kind of enjoyed it just a little bit just because I got to, you know, kind of get loud and hype with the rest of the girls on the bench and cheer on the girls who were out there on the floor picking me up.
And then, you know, when you did come in, do you think you were maybe a little bit fresher? Just, you know, I know that wasn't the plan going in, but you think that might have helped you a little in the second?
I think the second half I was just trying to, you know, to keep playing like I have been. I felt like, you know, maybe I was a little bit rushed on some of my shots and some of my free throws just because I did sit for a while, so I think just a little bit of that maybe affected me. But other than that, I think, you know, we just kept playing the way that we planned to play and the way that we have been playing, and things worked out.
And then, you know, a question for Jill over there. Go ahead, help me out with the mic, thanks. You know, 4 on 3s in the first half, and you finished with 16 points, leading the team there. You know, one of the seniors on the team. So, what has your experience brought, you know, to games like this where, you know, another one of the starters has to sit out because of foul trouble and stuff like that?
I think, you know, like, this team's mentality is just, you know, next person up. Like, you know, we have each other's back. Everybody plays for each other. And so, you know, when Renee has to sit like that, like she was saying, you know, the next person's going to have her back and pick up for what's going on. But as far as experience goes, I mean, in games like this, like, you just got to relax. You got to execute on both ends of the floor, and things usually take care of itself if we stick to our plan. So
It appears the big game coming up was hosting Northern Illinois here when they have the homecoming for this building. How do you expect to approach Northern Illinois given their
Oh, man. You're expecting too much out of me to look that far ahead. I'm not positive when that even is. I think it's towards the end of the month. 2 weeks, yeah. I know, you know, again, they're scoring a ton of points. You know, I'll start watching film on them when the time comes, and we'll have a plan. But, you know, I think we can score a bunch of points too. So, yeah, I mean, it should make for a whale of a ball game. You know, they picked a good one to talk about 25 years and the whole thing. And let me say this too, you know, while we're kind of on the subject, you know, I just want to thank our crowd today, the community. I thought it was a great crowd. I was worried the forecast was going to keep everybody away. But, man, they showed up, and they were into it. And you know, I speak for our whole team when I say it's so much fun to play in front of a Worthen Arena crowd that's into it and as large as it was. And, Again, if we can continue to do that and continue to keep building on that crowd and the students start getting excited about what's going on and it keeps growing and building, we can make this place impossible for another team to win in. So whether it's Northern Illinois or anybody else. And, really, really excited and proud and happy to see the crowd come out on a little bit of a squirrely day in terms of the weather. And that was a big part of us pulling this one out today.
And then, Jill, actually on the subject of the crowd there, you're from Winchester, pretty close to here. So, when they announce teams, you usually get loud cheers, probably because of some people you know from these games. But, what's it like for you to play in front of this Morgan Arena crowd, being from pretty close here?
Well, I feel like, maybe my freshman year, the people from Winchester surrounding area, were for me. But now it's Ball State's fans, regardless of where they're from. They're supporting the whole entire team. But I think just the following that we've gotten is amazing, and it makes the game so much more fun to play in when the crowd's getting loud when we make a play. And so it's really exciting for us because when we come out, we know that we have people behind us, and that means everything.
And then, did you maybe feed off that energy when you start getting on a roll, when the crowd gets excited, you just make, 4 threes in the first half there?
Well, of course, I'm psycho, so, it of course it does. But no, like I said, it's just really fun, and, I guess when you get on a roll like that, it's just, just reinforcement.
And then, Coach, speaking of getting on a roll, second half there, you guys scored 31 points, outscored them 31-13, or second quarter, outscored them 31-13, with the bench getting a lot of play there. So how big was that quarter and the bench play there?
I mean, again, it's the story of the game. To look at a second quarter and say that's where the game was won it may sound ridiculous, but it's the truth. So to see our team do it in the middle of some adversity with Renee being out, and Mo picks up an early foul in the first quarter and plays through it. And, as all those things had to come together, Morgan playing the way she did, Destiny playing the way she did, Franny playing the way she did, when she was kind of out, it just, I think it builds confidence in your team as a whole. Clearly Renee is playing at an all-conference level, and everybody knows it, and every team is game planning for her, and our team knows it, and we've been fortunate enough that we've still been able to just, throw her the ball, and she's dominated. Well, today was a day where we didn't have that in the first half, and what were we going to do? And you saw us step up to the plate, and she alluded to she knows that her teammates are ready, and part of that is because they play against her every day, and that helps them get ready. But so that is exciting for me to see. I think it gives us confidence going down the stretch that, we can win in a lot of different ways, and we are not just settled on if the game goes this way, we got a chance to win, and if it doesn't, we're in trouble. We're good enough just to kind of adjust on the fly and do a lot of different things, and you saw it in that second quarter. And again, I don't know that we did anything real different to win 31-13, but I think we just had players play at a high level. And then we got going off our defense, and the transition game got going, and the whistles weren't blowing. And all of a sudden, you saw how fast we can play. And in the second quarter, or in the second half, it was just a whistle fest. And it's hard to get transition points in that case. And so when they ran by, I was trying to snatch their whistle off the lanyard, but they were too quick for me apparently. So we just had to play through it.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Coming up. We'll see you back here Wednesday.
Sounds good.
Do it again.
Trying to get them all.